Welcome back to the shop, guys. I'm gonna begin this video with something I just want to share. I used to go to Home Depot and buy Rust-Oleum spray paint until I discovered this, Krylon. I will never buy another can of Rust-Oleum in my life. Why? The first thing is Rust-Oleum, you can't get the cap off. You have to go and get something to literally pry the top off. I have no patience for that, so I just whack the thing on the counter, goes flying someplace in the shop, I don't care, or it breaks. Krylon, I have 10 cans. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cans. They all come off easily. The second thing is Rust-Oleum never fails. The spray cap or whatever it is plugs. You're in the middle of spraying something and all of a sudden nothing's coming out. So you have to stop your project, take it apart, try to clear it out. Sometimes you can get it clear, sometimes not. If it's not, I cannot tell you how many cans, half or more than that, full of Rust-Oleum I had to just throw in the trash can because the sprayer's gone. I have yet to have one of these plug, and I've gone through a lot of cans. So, Krylon, Fusion, they have other brands, but I've been just buying the Fusion. The Arbor Press was painted with Fusion, Krylon Fusion, what was it, deep green and forest green, something like that. And their matte isn't really matte, it's somewhat shiny, it's like a semi-gloss. So I'm buying the matte finishes of all the colors, I'm buying the satin, and I'm buying the gloss. So I'm stocking up on this stuff. Now, as the title of the video says, how many times have you had to set a precision angle on the compound? Happens to me almost all the time. A couple of days ago, I realized the drill press is a JT Jacobs Taper 33, which is 1.8184 degrees. Who comes up with this number? I don't know. But in any case, I figured there has to be an easier way to do this. I don't have a protractor or anything that can get that accurate. So I invented this little tool, and I was recording every bit of making it for you guys. And then when I downloaded the videos, I realized only the first 2 clips came out. The rest of the clips were all green screen for some reason. So for this video, I'll show the first 2 clips of making this. Then I'll bring it to the bench and explain how it works. Then I'll take you over to the lathe and show you how I verified, yes, you can set any angle, any taper, anything you want with this guy, fast and easy. So, on with the video, hope you enjoy. Not really a whole lot to making this tool. I was going to make it bigger, you know, like 3/4 inch, but I figured, why? 1/2 inch bar stock. Seems like it's pretty nice. It's got some pretty sharp edges. So I should be able to lap this to make it look nice. I don't want to fly cut it or anything. 3-inch piece, so I marked it. This was a piece of scrap with the groove that's in both ends. It no doubt came out of a printer of some sort, probably an inkjet. So, looks pretty nice. Let's go over to the horizontal bandsaw and just cut this stuff off. Yeah, I'm really liking this little tripod thing here because I can get in pretty close with what I need to do. Alright, bring this in a bunch. There. Alright, so I want to be on the mark, or be close to it. Where's square? There. Alright, on and cut. Right on the mark, nice. This should go pretty quick. This blade has been hanging on for a long time. I'm surprised. Yeah, and the shop vac is behind me because I like to clean this thing up after every job, which is really stupid. Just let it get dirty when it's really bad, then clean it up. And it's going to take a little bit, but so I'll bring you back when I'm over at the bench. Well, since the other piece was 1/2 inch, this is a 1/2 inch rod, faced it off. I should have brought the other piece over here. Can I reach it? Yep, I can. Yeah, sorry I didn't show you guys lapping this thing, but evidently it was curved like that. The center was lower, so I'll have to caliper this to make sure it's absolutely square still. But I didn't want to go all the way in. This is going to be the threaded part for the handle, and I'm just going to drill and then I'll thread it. But I have to turn this down. I picked 5/16, so I'll caliper this guy here. Put it down. I don't know if the camera can see it. 5/16. I forgot what the thread was. I think it's 11 TPI. So I can caliper this, take it down to that, and I should be able to use the threading die on this to do it. Then the handle, I'll make sure I take it down far enough that go in there. Make sure I take it down far enough that it doesn't exceed the square block there I just put behind me. This can go a little bit faster. So this is really kind of a no-brainer to do here. Just keep turning it and turning it until I get it and then thread it. So this should be a pretty cool little tool. 5/1000 cut. I can probably take 10, but I don't want to wear this insert out. These are my aluminum inserts. They're really not easy to find nowadays. Everybody's buying them up. So I guess I'll bring you back when I've got this thing kind of done and cut off. 5,000 there. Probably should use some cutting fluid. No, this is going to roll away. Yeah. Get some cutting fluid here, so I'll bring you back when I'm kind of over on the bench, I guess, again. Yep, reposition my chair here. Yes, I'm still messing around with trying to get this chuck on the drill press. As far as I can figure, I printed out tables of all the Morse tapers, Jacobs tapers, Brown and Sharp, and another one, I don't even know what it is, but as far as I can tell, that's a JT33 on a drill press, which is 1.8184 degrees. Give me a break. Who would pick a number like that? You know, if you're going to say an industry standard, okay, it's 2 degrees, 2.5 degrees, 3, something like that. Not 1.814. This guy, I did make it, and I labeled it JT33. I took an old parallel that I had made, you know, out of plastic, obviously, when I first started the hobby, because I didn't want to spend money on metal parallels yet. So I took it, and I have an angle finder. The best one I have only goes to 1/10 of a degree, so I positioned this in the vise so that it was angled at 1.8 degrees, fly caught it or mill it, and then I started using a sine bar with a precision stack. So this guy is accurate as far as I can tell. I put this against the vise on sandpaper, 600 and then 1200. That way I know I'm not angling. I did that side and then I did the other side, everything. So that's perfect as far as I can tell. Now, to set some of these numbers is like ridiculous. So, started making it. This was turned in the lathe, of course. That is a 5/16 24 thread. Tap this guy, 5/16 24. 2 scrap rods I had. Make a point on it in the lathe. They're exactly the same length. This guy goes on here like this. I know this is perfection and absolutely square. This is perpendicular. I checked everything with my precision square. It's all perfect. Those happen to be 4 millimeters. Drilled them out and then used the reamer, and they're like incredible fits on these things. They just slide in and they're smooth. So what's the idea behind this? Simple. How many times have you, why is that stuck? Still, yeah, there. How many times have you had to square up a cutoff tool? I can just I can put this in the chuck like that, go and hit the cutoff tool, parting tool, and I know I have just squared that up perfectly. These guys, I can set them to the exact same length by doing this number. How did I do that? Oh, I did it this way. I can square it to there, take this side, square it to there. Now that it should be exactly the same. I've squared up the compound. I can double check that I've got this correct. They should both hit something, you know, the parting tool or whatever. Then you can use online, there's right triangle calculators. If I punch in that degree, it tells me how much shorter one has to be. Now I can angle my compound to match this. Square up the parting tool first, set this for the angle, then go ahead and set the angle to the compound. So this is a really nice tool, right? Small enough I can easily throw it in a drawer, don't have to do anything with it. I did have to lap the tip of these things because they were starting to create burrs on this, and the fit is so tight that the slightest burr and you can't move these things easily like that. So there is no play in them. That's like perfection. So I did do the calculator. I did set it for the angle. Stuck this up against the parting tool, and bingo, it was holding it on both points. So this technique does work. I did turn this guy when I had everything set up before doing this, and yeah, it fits in there tight and perfect. So I labeled this guy right here JT33 and 1.8184 degrees. Crazy. So I have my own JT33 if I want to play or check anything else. But I did start recording, making some of it, but this is just done in the mill with the DRO, and I set it for half inch, so there's 1 inch and there's 2 inches. And the reason is sometimes you punch in a degree in the calculator online, and it comes up with some really weird, you know, more than 1/10 of a thou numbers. So if you punch in 2, you'll get one number. If you punch in 1 inch, you get another. And a lot of times they're close enough to being absolutely to a thou that you're going to use either the 2 or the 1 inch. So that's why I did those two. So it looks pretty good. I probably should have chamfered the edges, and I may do it someday, but so this was like a 3-4 hour project to do this. Highly recommended. Really, I think it's going to turn out to be very useful. I wanted you guys to see live here what I'm discovering playing with this little gadget here. Without the rods in it, I stuck it in my chuck, put it back in there again. 4 jaw, so I can clear the jaws. I don't know if you can do it on a 3 or not, but so there it is, tightened in there. So without the rods in there, I squared this guy up. Just hit it until it's straight. Right? That looks still, yeah, it's straight. Freaky thing I'm feeling is this guy is absolutely flush, which tells me that if the headstock is tilted in any which way, I would see it here. So I now know I can put just any piece of flat material there and square it up real fast that way. Oh, I left the other square over there, but so I can do this number like that and square this thing up. So I don't even need this, but it's an interesting tool to see things about my lathe or whatever. But the other thing is, okay, so this has got the angle to it. I did run the calculator that I referenced in the other video, and if this is correct, the angle or whatever, this should hold it, and it does. Both hands here. It's touching perfectly. I also ran the calculator for the full distance of this thing, because I can easily caliper this, and then I can caliper this end, and it's on the money. Someplace less than a half a thou. So now this is really interesting because without the rods in it, I've got a surface here that I can easily put any angle block against and set the compound. Because if I loosen this up right now, if you bring it in, you'll see this is touching, this is not. So if I were to angle this thing, break the compound loose and angle it until both are touching and lock it down, I know I have exactly 1.8184 degrees. So I'm loving this tool. I'm gonna probably just make both these the exact same distance to square things up. Put this in the lathe drawer. I can just bring it out, pop it in here, square up my parting tool, and I'm done with it. So interesting too. What some people call this a cut-off tool, some people a parting tool. Be interesting to hear what people call that all the time. So that's that. That's pretty cool. All right, I just wanted to share all that. It looks like the headstock is straight, because I know I used to put it away. Where is the other one? Yeah, this one, the real big one. To square the compound back up after an angle, I just do this. I make sure this is absolutely clean in this gap. Run that there, and it seems to be working perfectly because all the cuts, everything are straight. If I use the compound to do a surface, turn something, I can caliper back here and caliper out here, and it matches right to 1/10 of a thou. So those are just kind of some of the techniques I use.